This is going to be the third in a series of videos about working with our CORE HL7 MS SQL schema engine and what makes up an HL7 database. It'll also be the second video that deals with our CORE HL7 Viewer product. This is our free product, and we'll be using it today to navigate our CORE databases. Let's get started. If you watch any of our prior videos, you'll know you can download both of these products at our website. Just go to transworldscribe.com, go to downloads. There's the CORE SQL schema engine and the free CORE Viewer. Just scroll down to where you get to free software, and there it is. It's the top one. I'm going to do my level best not to rehash things that we went over in the first couple of videos. We're going to start out by getting some screen real estate here, and I'm going to stop my CORE SQL schema engine window services just to make things run a little bit faster. What we're looking at here is this item on the toolbar. You can use version 2 of the CORE Viewer to navigate your schema engine HL7 databases. And now we're going to get started doing that. What I want to get across here is just how incredibly easy this is. I'm going to create this. We're going to pull this up to get it to our database connectors. I've already got some created, but we're going to create a new one just to show how simple it is. I'm going to come over to my schema engine. I'm going to edit my connection profile. Here, I'm going to say that I want to create a new connection. And now I'm just going to start copying. I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to copy this. I got to get my server. I need my database. And that is really all that I'm going to need on this. This uses SQL Server security. I probably don't need it because I'm running locally. Test my database connection. It says, do you want to verify it? It verified it. There's a schema engine present. I'm going to save it, and I'm done. I've created it. If I want to query this, all I have to do is click this button. And we query the schema, and we're in the query window. Now in this window, we're going to design our query into our database. You can see the name of the profile, the schema prefix, the server and database you're using. As you build your query, you can click here, and it will show you the SQL statement that we're about to execute. You can bring it up, you can click copy all. We could go over to SQL Server and run it. But I want to just run a quick query. I'm going to select 1,000 records. We limit the number of records you can return because we don't know how big your HL7 messages are. If you ever need a quick look at just what is in your database, you can hit this count button. It'll actually do a count. In my schema, I have 750 messages. 547 of them are ADT messages. 203 of them are ORUs. Now let's bring some in. So I just click execute. There are my 750 messages. And from here, I can add them to the message store in the main window. If I don't want all of them, I could unselect a few. I don't want these 3, or I could just say I want only these messages. I click add to the data store, and now they're in the main window. That in and of itself is very cool. But wait, there's more. Let's continue. We're going to build another query really quick. Let's go into here. Staying with the example profile, I'm going to max out my records, and this time I'm going to check this box. I want to display the results in the navigator. I'm going to add another filter in here just for giggles, and I'd say I want the message type is ORU. This is not case sensitive. If I'm curious about what it is, I can look at my SQL, and there's the message type, ORU. And I'm going to execute and watch what happens. Gives you my query, return 203 records. and we're here. But this is not the main menu. The main window, look at it. It is different. This is a different window designed for looking at messages out of the database. Very cool. You have all of the same navigation that you have in the main window. You can click down and through. You can get screen real estate. If you want to look at it in the browser, you can go to help. But what's different is the reporting. You see, you can, let's look at the patient's name. Click this, brings up a report. The report is different. It will show you the server and database. It'll show you the schema prefix and the table name of the field that you've chosen. It will also show you the column names of this field. This is Brady, patient's last name. It's a PID F5C1. And if you get to the bottom, it'll tell you the definition that you're using to look at it, and it'll also show you the message ID. Now you can get the same kind of a report for an entire segment. Let's look at the PV1 segment. Again, this will show you. This one, it says there are two tables, an A table and a B table. It tells you the number of fields that are defined in the vendor definition that we're using, the HL7 definition, but there are only 44 actually in this segment. It gives you the name of the table, and you scroll down through, and you can see the fields, the ones that have data in it. Empty fields are ignored. It shows you notes if there are notes in the HL7 definition about a particular field. Notice this is switched. This is switched to the B table because in our databases, if there is an A and a B table, the A table will have HL7 fields 1 through 40, and the B table will have HL7 fields 41 through XXX, however many there are. So in this tape, there is a B table, and there's a data in field 44, and everything else in the B table is null. That is very, very cool. But there's still more. I can click on this button to show a SQL query. If I choose a message, any message, if I click this button, it will generate a SQL statement that will collect every piece of data about this message from the schema. All I have to do, it tells me what to do at the top. Open a new query for this database, and I can just paste this in and go. So I'm just going to copy it to the clipboard. I'm going to go to SQL Server. There's my database. I'm going to do a new query, paste it, and execute. And there they are. There's every piece of data about this particular message. The first one is the HL7 data table. That's the main table. It has everything in it, including the entire message. There is the next query is the message manifest table. This is the vertical list of every segment. This profile is saving the segment data. If you're curious about where that comes from, it comes from here in the schema engine in part 2 of the profile. It is this checkbox right here to store the segment data in the message manifest table. If you don't have that checked, that field will be null. But we'll just keep going. After that, you have the segment data tables, and they'll be listed alphabetically. So first one is the MSH, then the NTE, then the OBR, A and B, OBXA, etc. And if you just scroll down through, you can tell what table you're looking at by the column names. This is the OBX table, this is the OBR table, or ORC table rather, PD1, PID, etc. All the way down. Every piece of data about this message in the database. And that is very cool. But wait, there's still more. What if I need to go from the database into our core viewer? So let's go to SQL Server here. I'm going to get to my tables. Let's say that I'm doing research. And I found a message that I need to look at, any message. I'll choose this one here. So I can just copy the message ID. I can go to my query builder and check this box. I'm going to look at a specific message. It unchecks all the other filters because they don't apply. Paste in my message ID here, or I can click this paste button. If there's one on the clipboard, it will put it there, and I can execute. My query returned one record, and here that message is. I can do whatever I want to with it, including get a SQL statement that'll retrieve every piece of data about this message in SQL Server. And execute. And there it all is. Once again, very, very cool. And that concludes our video. Try giving us a like and subscribe. You can use your CORE HL7 Viewer to navigate your schemas that you have selected and created in the CORE SQL Schema Engine.